Connor O'Hara is a young and talented director, writer, and producer. He's also the founder of production company Low Key Films. He wrote and directed the short film Infinite, which is now being adapted into a feature-length version. We watched the short and we loved its powerful message. Connor is our guest on the show today. Hi, Connor. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Hi, Anna. Thanks so much for having me. Very happy to be chatting to you.
Okay, we are really happy to talk to you. And as we said before, we loved the short. It certainly touched our hearts and we connected with its message, the characters, the story. Can you tell us a little bit about when and why you decided to write it and make it this way, so beautifully made?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I feel like it was really important to, first of all, I wanted to represent young men on screen in a new way. I wanted to sort of show them as being much more, emotionally available and more sort of, still in touch with their emotions. But then what happened is I sort of had the idea of wanting to make a film about that. And out of nowhere, two people close to me died within 2 days of each other. So suddenly it was quite like a, it really shook me and my friendship group. And in that time, I sort of saw what an amazing capacity a lot of young guys had to sort of deal with grief, and how, while it may not be the most sort of orthodox way of dealing with it, guys have a real, amazing capacity to support each other and, come together around a hard time. So I wanted to sort of put this on screen and, start, redefining masculinity in this way.
I was thinking that art in its multiple forms has this power to reach people. And in the case of Infinite, you transformed a personal experience into a very beautiful short film that can help a lot of people. Can you tell us about the characters and a little bit about the story?
Of course, yeah. So I wrote the 5 characters. I gave them all sort of fictional names. There's Sid, Digger, Dribble, Wolfie, and Plod. And the reason I did this is because I kind of want they're almost like my 7 dwarves. Like each one of them is a bit of my personality. So you see in the feature, when that will come out, you'll see further that one is more self-conscious, one might be more sort of angry, a bit more frustrated, and it's sort of each one is a bit of my personality. So like Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, where you have dopey, I can't even think of bashful. Each one has a very defined, well, what I think of a very defined stereotype of what a guy should or could be like. So yeah, I wanted to create 5 very unique characters where each one is a sort of a bit of me, essentially.
Yes, they certainly are unique, and the actors are really talented. How was the process to choose the cast?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, GeorgeMackay was the person I'd always sort of envisioned for the lead role of Sid, just because Sid essentially in the film is me. That's the one I sort of connected to the most. So I wanted someone to play him who I sort of resonated with, and I'd always sort of connected to George's characters. So I thought he'd be a great choice to play it. But then, from there we sort of looked at a lot of exciting, upcoming British actors, but also actors that would take this seriously and really want to bring their own edge to the film.
Yes, and the characters look so natural and spontaneous, like actual friends. As a director, how did you work with the actors to achieve that?
Oh, thanks for saying that. Well, we wanted to, create this atmosphere. So very much what I said to them was I wrote the script and said this script acts, very much like a guideline. As long as you hit the main points, you're okay to improvise. And I think on the first day that worked well. But what we did was, while we were filming, all the 5 actors lived with me in a big house over the weekend, so that we actually every evening we sort of we got together. We made big communal dinners, like Mexican food, so everyone could share it. And we just basically talked and just became friends. So we talked about our personal lives, told stories about funny things that happened in the past, and over the course of the weekend, we became actually quite close and good friends, so that on set, the improvisation became a lot easier.
Yes, and the short is now being adapted into a feature-length version, right?
Correct, yeah. So we've been spending the last 4 years since writing the short, and it really felt like it resonated with people, and I also felt like I hadn't fully told the story. There was so much more to say. So yeah, we've been working for the last 4 years, sort of writing it, looking for sort of the best way to make this, the best people to make this with, and we're in a really great position now.
Yeah, we are really looking forward to it, and when watching the short, one certainly can tell that it is made with a lot of commitment and passion for what you do. How did you discover that you had a passion for filmmaking? Was it something that you always knew, or was it something that you discovered later or when growing up?
Oh, that's a very good question. When I was 9, I had an illness, which basically meant I was like sofa bound for about 2 months. So I was quite ill, and in that time I watched the first 2 Lord of the Rings films were on DVD. So I basically just kept watching and rewatching the Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers, and from that I ended up watching all the behind the scenes and watching how the crew came together to support one another, and I just knew that was the industry I had to be in. So from there, I've always loved telling little stories. So basically, when I was a kid at 9 years old, I just after I got better, I got a video camera and just started making little films. So it's basically been since then, since I was a 9-year-old boy. So I don't think I ever knew I had a talent for it. I think I just wanted to do it.
Yeah, and you also have other projects in Loki Films, right? What are the challenges of having a production company?
For us, yeah. So with a production company, I think there's a lot of different production companies out there. So I think it's not so much a challenge, but what we had to sort of realize is what company we want to be. Because I think a lot of people can create work, and loads of people. We knew we didn't want to be the horror guys. We knew we didn't want to be, the sci-fi guys. We sort of had to, we had to work out what we wanted to do. So we sort of want to be a production company which sort of tell, heartfelt stories about characters that don't always get represented on screen. So the challenges are just, bringing in the work, making sure it happens. But for us, we find that quite relatively straightforward. The thing that we're trying to do that's a bit different is, set out like a set of morals that kind of define our company.
Yes. Well, when we hear you talk, we can certainly tell that you work with a lot of commitment. And here on the show, we like asking our guests about their vocation and seeing through their answers that when we do what we love, we can find real happiness and feel complete, but also make other people happy and help transform their lives for the better too. What are the things that you enjoy the most about filmmaking and that make you reconfirm that is what you really love to do?
Do you know what you guys are all about is exactly what we love about filmmaking. It's Jamie and I, who head Low Key, we both have worked other jobs where we didn't feel totally satisfied in them. And with Low Key, we want to create almost like a community where every time we go onto set, we're working with our friends, we're working with collaborators that we get along with, and through the stories that we tell as well, we can inspire more people to work in film. And we love this whole idea of building a community, spreading positive image, spreading a positive word, and basically just being the good guys a little bit.
Yes, and we believe that art touches people's souls and deepest emotions and can help us see things from a different perspective, right? What message would you like people to receive when watching Infinite?
Wow. Okay. The message I'd like people to receive is twofold. I'd like people to start seeing young guys in a different way, and maybe not see them always as being two-dimensional characters, and seeing that young guys have a real capacity for emotion and to love one another. And I'd also really like to for people to see grief as not always having to be such a negative thing, and seeing that actually in grief and in someone passing away, you can find positives and actually celebrate their life and celebrate how much of a good person they were, as opposed to thinking about the bad time, which is what's going on in that moment.
Yeah, that's right. can you tell us approximately when will we be able to watch the feature, of if you have some kind of date in mind, or?
Very good question, especially with coronavirus.
Everything is so uncertain.
Oh yeah, in the UK right now, a lot of things are very up in the air. So, you know, what I'm going to say is, in the next 1 to 2 years would be a good estimate. I think if we'd spoken 2 weeks ago, I might have been able to give you a more concrete answer. But a lot of stuff's very up in the air at the UK at the moment. So I'm a bit confused myself as to what's going on. So we'll see is the answer. but soon, we're working hard. It will happen. We're hoping to shoot this summer. It might end up being next summer, depending on how things go.
And where and how can people watch the short film Infinite right now? It's free online, right?
Yeah. So we got offers to release the film on like private platforms where people had to pay, and we just thought, no, we want people to receive this for free. So we've put up online for free. It's on Vimeo. It's being released on YouTube via Omeletto in a few days, and it's on Facebook too. So all you need to do is search Infinite starring GeorgeMackay, and you should be able to find it out there in the world. Or you can reach out to me on Instagram, and I'll send it to you personally. If that's, I'm happy to get the film to you however you want to see it.
Yes, I love the idea, as you were saying before, of creating a community around Infinite. We think that's beautiful, and that's the real and deepest purpose of art.
Oh, I'm so glad you think that. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, at the end of the day, what's life about if not to do that? Like, we want to create, friends and talk about the subject matters, and show people that the people that show anyone who watches the film that there's actually people behind the camera who do really care. And if they want to reach out to me or Jamie and say hi and share their thoughts, we want to hear it and chat to them a bit.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for this interview and for creating such a beautiful and unique short film. We will spread the word here in Argentina so that more and more people can watch it and enjoy it.
Amazing.
So thank you so much, and we invite our audience to watch Infinite on Vimeo. And thank you, Connor, for your time and for speaking to us today on Yo Quiero Verte.
Oh, look, thank you so much, guys. Hope you have a lovely day.
And the same to you.
Thank you.